Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chris O Show podcast. Every Thursday we release, and then, it stays there on all our channels, whether it's my own blog or Spotify, Apple Pods, YouTube, and Patreon is coming down the road, but we're not there yet. So stay tuned for all of that. Today, I have a wonderful guest. We've been in touch for a few months now trying to get this going, and so I'm really happy. Wendy Morgan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris. I'm really excited to be on your show.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And so the reason Wendy and I are talking is because Wendy and a group of wonderful ladies had a really cool experience writing a book. And can you tell us a little bit about the book and then we'll go into the background?
Sure. Well, the book is a murder mystery. It started as just a bunch of women getting together and on our book from our book club, and I
Yes,
said, "Hey, let's write a book."
that's awesome.
That was the beginning. And 2.5 years later, it actually was a printed book that was for sale. So it has been quite exciting, but more than exciting, lots and lots of fun. We've had so much fun doing this.
That's amazing. That's so cool. And I love how, you were in a book club and you were just doing things, and then all of a sudden it's like, let's write a book. And how was it like to collaborate with like how many ladies wrote the were part of the process?
6,
That's so
including me.
that's a significant amount of people to coordinate with. So what was it
Yes.
like collaborating with 6 people on this project?
Well, it kind of grew. I guess that's the only way I can describe it. We would have a project. We decide what we were going to do. Initially, I decided what we were going to do, and then as we went along, of course, we all had input. So we started out with the story, how we got to where this fictional condo was. And so it started out with some ladies actually telling you how they got there themselves,
Yeah.
but other people, like myself, I just thought, oh, well, who will I be? And away I went with who I was.
Yeah.
So then the next time that we would meet, we would read to each other what we'd written. So
Oh,
that was just the process initially.
yeah.
And then we really had no idea what we were writing about. It honestly grew. So it was sort of like chapters.
Yes.
Um, and then the next chapter was the next phase. So we had lots of activities in the building and parties. So we
Yeah.
decided that our next chapter, so
Yes.
sort of, was for Canada Day. So that's what we were writing about, Canada Day. And then we decided, well, something exciting has to happen on Canada Day.
Yes.
And one of the residents washed up on the shore who had a red canoe.
Oh,
So
okay.
then that's where that went. So then, of course, we were into, well, who did this?
Yes.
Like, did somebody do it? Was he murdered? Well, you had to find out about him
Yes.
and his past. And then there was some other people who previously had been involved with him because there is 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
And so we went on from there. And so we would read, but then when we got down to the initial, that we had all of this material, we
Yeah.
had to really and truly edit it and make sure that this man had a red shirt on, or
Yes.
he had a plaid shirt on, or he was tall, or he was short, or we couldn't have 6 different people. So, and somehow we just got it to go together and it just flows along. So
That's
it is a guessing who did it.
Yeah, no, but that's wonderful. I mean, and the fact that you ladies were able to collaborate like that and work together and take each other's ideas and build something, I think is so cool. From your own perspective, what did it feel like being able to, you know, put all these pieces together and make the mystery happen?
Well, I don't know what it felt like. They always kidded me because every time we'd come up with an idea or I'd come up with an idea, I'd get goosebumps.
Oh,
I'd say, oh my goodness, this is so exciting. We've got, oh, this will be wonderful. So there's quite a few backstories going on in
yeah,
the book,
yeah,
backstories about characters who you don't really know who they are. So
yes,
and it all melds together. So it was just sheer fun. And we all got along so well. I can't believe that. And we became closer friends
yeah.
because we got to know each other. So yeah, so that's I don't know if that's a much of an explanation, but
No,
that's
but
just
that's
the way it
cool.
sort of, yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's wonderful. And so now that this book is out there, and what's been the kind of response that you have received and that the group of ladies has received about the project, about the book?
Well, the response has been overwhelming, absolutely positively overwhelming. We had our launch. Our
Yeah.
first launch was we actually do live in a condo. All of us share the same condo. So
Yes.
that's, but the people aren't real. Just,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
haven't written
yeah.
about real people in the condo. We don't want
Oh,
people to think that. So we just, went from there.
that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. So now part of the thing was you guys did this during the pandemic.
Yes, we started during the pandemic.
Okay, so you started and was it all virtual stuff and then you moved to in-person meetings?
Well, it was at the stage in the pandemic where we were able to wear masks.
Okay.
So we would actually meet we have a beautiful big multi-purpose room. It's like
Yes.
a big living room. So we would meet, but we'd have our masks on. And so that's how, and it was so nice that we could actually get together with people.
Yes.
So we would be 6 feet apart, and yeah, so we would do that. And oh yes, I probably should tell you about one incident when we did launch our book in this building, and it was wonderful. We had
Yes.
a party, and
Nice.
but next launch, I have a lovely hairdresser, and she actually was the hairdresser at Leacock Lodge, which is a retirement home in Aurelia.
Okay.
And so she said, "Oh, Wendy, you have to come here and do the launch. You just have to come here and do another one." So we did that. We wanted to get as many things in before Christmas so that we could donate to Greenhaven. So
Yeah.
we got there, and our editor, Sandy, um, she was an English teacher.
Yeah.
And so she did a reading, which is the very beginning of the book, which is actually the end. But anyway,
Okay.
she did a reading. And so there was so many people, and they were so interested in it. But when she was doing the reading, she yelled, "What the hell are you doing?" And so people were walking by that, and I guess they wondered what is going on in that room. But anyhow, that I found that really funny. People are sort of stopping, but yes, we had a wonderful response, and yeah, so and we did another um book launch at
Yeah.
Leacock Museum
Oh, nice.
on Sunday, and it was a very, very hot day. So we really appreciated everybody coming out. But we ran out of chairs and we ran out of room, and there were people on the porch and there were people in the dining room. So it was very exciting and successful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So the response has been good. Now, how can people get the book?
The book is available at Manticore, a
Okay.
bookstore in Aurelia, and it's also available at Mariposa Market.
Nice.
Um, yes, so
Awesome.
yeah, so
So
and I've accepted orders through my email as well.
okay, so people can email. What's your email that people can order it through?
Wendy,
Yeah.
and then the letter N, and then the name Steve
Yeah.
at outlook.com. So it's Wendy and Steve at Outlook. I share with my husband and hope he doesn't delete anything before.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay, especially when it says book order. He'll keep that one.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh,
wonderful. So people can get it in Aurelia, Manticore Books at the Mariposa Market, or email you directly and you'll send them the book.
yes.
Um,
Oh,
and
I'm sorry. And Stephen Leacock. I'm sorry, I forgot. If they go to the museum, they will have our book as well.
wonderful. So if anybody's in Aurelia, you can go pick up a hard copy for yourself without it having to be mailed or sent.
Yeah.
And if you are not going to be in the area, but you want a copy of the book, just email Wendy and she can help hook you up with that. And that's awesome. She'll go through the process, a little e-transfer of cash, and a book gets sent. That's wonderful. So next up, you ladies still do your book club, I'm sure.
Yes.
Wonderful. And so with your book club, now that you've written your own book, and so what's kind of the next step? Do you guys pick some different books each week? Are you going to try and write another book? What's going on going forward?
Well, our book club is a very interesting book club, and we actually do discuss the books. I've heard some women say, "Oh, yes, we read the books, but we went for lunch and we spent 5 minutes, and then they always had a great time."
Yeah,
We do too, but we
yeah,
do discuss the books. So, um, we don't know if we're going forward with another book. We didn't, or I wanted the book basically,
yeah,
and it was a project,
yeah,
and we honestly, well, I think I always knew that I would kind of keep going, but
yes,
I didn't know if the other ladies would. So we did, and we've done it, and we're quite pleased with ourselves. I might write a book.
nice.
Myself, and I certainly know who I have as an editor.
Yeah,
So we'll see about that. My husband is quite proud of me,
yes.
and actually, this is kind of a really funny story. I had surgery last year
Okay.
at Toronto Western, and he was the pre-op took 4 hours, and he met this gentleman, and they chatted and
Yeah,
chatted and chatted and had a lovely visit. And he said to him, he said, he said he was there for his wife. His wife was actually having surgery. So my husband says, "Oh," he says, "my wife's writing a book." And man said, "Oh, yes." He said, "What kind of a book?" He said, "Well, it's called The Red Canoe." And he said, and I came up with the title. So then he did too.
That's good.
Then he proceeds to tell this man
Yeah.
about so anyhow, so they chat a bit. And the next thing, I get this text, wait, in one of the waiting rooms. "Oh my goodness," he says, "do you know who I just met?" Of course, I didn't know who he met. I said, "Who?"
Yeah.
He said, "I was talking to Linwood Barclay."
No way. That's wonderful.
And so he says, I said to him, "Oh, he was asking him about what he was reading." So then it turned out that he found out it was Linwood Barclay. And he says, "And I just went into Shoppers Drug Mart,
Yeah.
and there's 3 books of his on the shelf." I laughed. I thought, "Oh, what are the chances?"
It's true. Oh my goodness. That's wonderful. It's too bad he didn't have a copy of your book at that point.
Yes.
He could have passed one along. Linwood could have give you a little promo.
Well, we did meet him.
Oh, nice.
Halliburton had a book-a-palooza,
Yes.
and they had it in Minden, and that was last year.
Okay.
And the guest of honor was Linwood Barclay.
That's
So,
wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, so I said to him, "Well, here I am." So I got my picture taken with him. And actually, people have said you should send him the book if he remembers that story about this man not knowing who he was and telling him all about his wife.
Yes. That's wonderful. You should tell him. That would be cool. He'd probably remember that. I mean, that's a pretty memorable situation where you're in kind of an emotional state too, because both the gentlemen were there for, their loved ones having surgery. So he probably would remember that interaction. He probably
Yes.
went and told his own wife and said, "Hey, do you know what just happened?" Right? So, hi, everyone. Quick break in the action. Right now is where one of you should be putting your sponsorship and putting your products or your services on display to all our listeners, all our watchers, all our followers, everybody, right here, right now. So reach out and we'll hook you up. We'll get you into the next podcast and we'll spread your word for you. Take care. Ciao for now. Right? So, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. So next time you should just reach out and say, "Hey, remember us?" That's really
I
cool.
just could not believe that story, but
No,
anyway.
that's a great story. I love that. That's wonderful. So I'm just trying to think, is there any other cool things that have happened during the process of writing the book that you're like, oh, this was really, interesting that helped, the Red Canoe, obviously you saw Red Canoe, and Steve helped come up with the book, the name. But was there anything else that, you took from life and the ladies took from life outside of the condo and the theme that you were like, oh, I had to put this in the book while I was writing it?
Well, there is a part that I did that I guess if I tell you what it is and people they'll know who I am. So maybe I won't tell you
No, don't tell.
because in the book, but I did have I guess it won't hurt. I did they won't know who I am
Yeah.
really anyhow till they get into the story. I did have a beagle,
Yes.
and the beagle did travel out from out west
Okay.
to Ontario, drooling and with flatulence all the way. And she was stoned riding backwards. So that part in the story. And the other gal, one of the other gals, she did have a boat at a marina up
Yes.
north. So she incorporated that. And the one gal that wrote, I just really, really, she thought that she would shorten her story. And I
Yes.
said, oh, please don't, because her story is arriving in Toronto
Yes.
in the just 1970,
Yes.
and her experience in Toronto and all of the bands and the groups that they saw and all of her experiences in Toronto. I experienced a lot of them. So it really just the way and actually she's a poet as well. So
Right.
she has some training, this gal. So
Yes.
that was really interesting. And then another gal, one of the other characters and one of our friends,
Yes.
she used names from both of her families in her book.
Yes.
So that part was really interesting. And some of the stories from the gals really are what happened to them and how they got here. But
Yes.
beyond that, it's all
It's
fiction.
all fiction. Yeah. There's so
Yeah.
there's some basis, and they always say like the best writing comes from what you know, right? So yes,
Yes.
you delve into your imagination and you expand your mind to pull in the fictional parts, but the
Yes.
base is, whether you're from a small town, big city, some traumatic event in your life,
Mhm.
whatnot. That's always, and as you know, I'm a writer by trade, right? So,
Mhm.
um, and so I always find the best stories are the ones we know about, whether I'm writing for journalism or marketing or um, you know advertorials or fictional, that a lot of fiction hasn't really been out there that are on my side projects. But it's always based in people or characters or animals or places that we know, and those kind of make the best stories because you're not just relying on coming up with stuff,
Yes.
you're expanding on what you already have in your universe,
Yes.
right? So
Mhm.
yeah, no, I think that's very cool that you ladies did that. You pulled your little things and you made it happen, and then you
Yeah.
made it fictional so that this isn't real, but
Yeah.
there's some things that you can envision if you're
Yes.
if you know these places, right? So
Yes.
I love that. I love that. What was I going to ask? Oh, what did you find was the hardest part about writing this book?
Oh, the hardest part about writing the book. Um, it was getting the timeline straight because I was the book, you don't really know when you're reading the book. You know who the women are, but
Yes.
there's a part where you don't really know what the victim is like, and you don't really know what happened to the person that did this to the victim.
Yes.
So there had to be backstory. So I've never written anything before. So I had to call them the backstory and put a name and the backstory of this and the backstory of that. And then we had to try and figure out, Sandy and I, the editor, where these would best be put.
Yes.
So that the reader would know. And then I found that because I've never done that before, I found it really difficult to try and figure out exactly where this should go so that it flows and it makes sense. And so Sandy came up with the fact that there should be part one and part two, just to separate and so that the reader could sort of figure out exactly what we didn't want to make it confusing at all.
Yes.
And initially, I thought that we have six characters, and I thought that it should be divided into four: the arrival,
Yes.
the party, the murder, and the investigation, and that
Yes.
each person should, so you'd start reading like that, and then you'd read what Sarah happened to her, blah, blah, blah. But Sandy and the other gals felt that that wasn't a good idea
Yeah.
because it would be confusing for the audience or
Gotcha.
the audience, the readers. So we collaborated and we thought that if we did each person's story in that
Yes.
order, it would be easier for the reader so that you get an introduction to the women. It's called Northview Towers, where all
Yeah.
this took place. And then each woman has her own segment and it follows chronologically along where the story goes. So that was, I mean, it was difficult for all of us to sort this out so that it would be the way it should be
Gotcha.
because we've never done this before.
No,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. And I don't think many people have done it where, I mean, yeah, I know some of you were new to writing a fictional story, but I don't think many people have done it where there's that larger collaboration on one book. Some people they've done one or two people, whatnot, but to have six individuals with their own experiences and their own abilities and their own skill set to come together and collaborate on a book and then make it actually happen and make it read well and make it sound good and make it interesting. That's a lot of work. That's hard. I mean, I applaud all of you for making that happen.
It was very rewarding when
Nice.
it came together.
Yeah.
Yes, we had some of us write out, like one of the gals doesn't like using her computer. She likes to write it. Then she'd have to put it on her iPad, but then the iPad wouldn't format to what I was doing. So I'd have to retype it for her and double space it and put it into the format. So there was just so many things. And then we decided that what we needed, or Sandy and I did, that we needed to have something on paper so
Yeah.
that we could actually physically hold it after we'd done all these ins and outs and outs and eats.
Yes.
And we thought that this possibly could be the finished product, but it would just be edited a little bit.
Yes.
Little did we know. So we had a local printer in Aurelia actually print what I'd formatted.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not very technical, but
Yeah.
I'm the most technical we had.
Fair
That
enough.
sounds crazy, but yeah. So we took it to a local printer and actually she printed out, and I think there were, I don't know, 8 by 11. It was a big, thick amount of paper.
Yes.
So then I said, look, so we had a meeting and I said, this is the book.
Yes.
So actually, that was just the beginning of
Yeah.
the editing.
Yeah.
But at that time, we thought it had, yes. So,
Yes. The editing
yeah.
process can be fun because it can either be a very almost exhilarating process where you find that the overall base is wonderful, and now I'm just tweaking, and now I'm
Yeah.
just making things sound a little nicer, maybe taking out some redundancies, whatnot. But then it can also be daunting if you keep finding things where you're like, oh, this could sound way better. This could sound way better, or you want to take something in a new direction, right? All of a sudden, you've gone from, what could be, let's say, a few hours of editing to days, right? Weeks even.
I know. That's what Sandy and I both discovered, that yes. So she was excellent. I was her student, really. I'm not a very literary person per se, but
Yeah.
to compare me to a an English teacher, she was wonderful. But
Yeah.
she wanted to keep the writing style of each person, but then she wanted all the tenses to be the way they
Yes, the
were.
way they should be. Yes.
And so they were exactly proper. So actually, my cousin, who's I think she has a degree in library science. I'm not sure anyhow, but she's excellent when it comes. So she actually did some of the editing as
Nice.
well. We sent her, and so she said, I don't feel really comfortable, Wendy, though, doing this for um, when you have an editor who's an English teacher.
Yes.
So I said, well, I'm sure Sandy will be fine. So there's kind of a joke about this because I like commas.
Yes.
Sandy liked semicolons. So
Oh,
Mary Jo went, so she went through it all. So Sandy called me Mrs. Comma. And I said, well, I don't know. I said, I think you could be called Mrs. Semicolon. And I think I'd rather be called a comma. So we had a good laugh about that. But so
Hey guys, do you want to look good this summer or fall or winter or all year round? Check out our merch, Chris O Show merch and Ciao for Now merch. Check it out, put one on, and support independent media and look good doing it. Now back to the show.
but so yes, my cousin Mary Jo did a wonderful job editing as well. And it was a fresh face,
yes.
or
Fresh eyes, fresh
fresh
perspective.
eyes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was absolutely
You
wonderful.
should you should always do that. I mean, the one thing you should always have somebody that's not you look over your work,
Yes.
especially when you're printing it. Like sometimes I'll post stuff on my blog, and then my friends who are all pretty knowledgeable people in the media will send me a private note saying you missed that or you missed that or whatever. But I can update that on the fly because
Yeah.
it's online, right? So I don't mind if I just put something out that I've proofread once, knowing that they'll read it and they'll send me their ideas and notes, and then I can make it a little bit better, without having to spend too much time on the editing process beforehand. However, when you're putting something in print, it's a triple check situation because that's going to stay there.
Oh,
So,
I know. I know. The first when we did our Leacock we had to get another um edition of books.
yes.
So people brought the one of the first editions in with them to get signed. And when they arrived, we were so excited about them arriving, and we wanted them to come before Christmas so that we could have a launch and we could donate the proceeds to Green Haven.
Yes.
So we had to make a decision. We either had to go with exactly what what's it called when you've got it edited and you've got it on copy, it's on the computer. We either had to do that or we had to have a hard copy sent to us. We'd look at
Oh,
that
I
one and
see.
send it
Yes.
back. So that took 3 weeks extra to do this back and forth. And so we thought, oh, we really didn't want to do that. So the books arrived, and
Yeah.
and well, we saw it on the computer, and we
Yes.
edited everything. And so actually the front cover, I guess for their identification, or not the cover, but the front where it says the Red Canoe, that first page after the
Yes.
beginning. Um, they had an identification on there and it said Wendy M. Well, I looked at it and I just about threw up because I thought, well, there was nothing on that page. That was
Yes.
their identification. So they made it up to us very nicely.
Yes.
But I thought, what are we going to do? I felt sick. I thought,
Yes.
this can't have this on the front page.
Yes.
So, because it wasn't our job to take it off. Like
No.
I never put it there. So
Yeah.
I thought in my brain it was theirs.
Yes.
They put that there and it won't be there. Um, so I went out and bought gold foil stickers. So
Okay.
I measured how big they made the font for my Wendy M
Yes.
and bought gold foils. So the first edition has
Yes.
all gold foil stickers and nobody knew.
That's
They will
amazing.
now. So here's Sandy and I with all these books and these gold foils.
And you guys are doing that, and you're putting these gold foil stickers on there, and
So they think that that's
that's
their.
part of the book. Yeah, it's just part of everything.
So yeah, that was that, but oh,
You
that's
know
an
what's
oh.
super cool? You just made every first edition a collector's item because there's something special about that. You guys just sign them all, and those are collector's items.
I just when it happened, the most sick feeling came over me. Oh, I thought, what will we do?
Yeah.
You know that when everything, I was so excited to open the box, and when I opened the first book, oh, but
Well,
anyway, it all worked out. I guess you just have to work around these things, I
that's
guess.
good. That's some solid ingenuity right there.
Yeah.
Figuring it out and making it, and hey, we will problem solve this. That's it. And then the next run will have the corrected version, right? So that's
Yes.
very cool. So how many was in the first run? How many print did you have to
Um,
do that to?
120.
Only 120. Oh, those are
Yeah.
collector's items for sure. Look, they should be worth at least triple by now.
Just a minute, I'm trying to think. No, sorry, it was 110 to be accurate.
110.
110.
There we go. 110 special one of a kind copies of the book are out there. So there we go. All right. Well, Wendy, is there anything? So I wanted to ask before we're almost at time. So I just wanted to ask, um, is there any reason you would tell people that they have to have this book? They have to buy it. Why should they buy your book and read it?
Well, it's a very interesting book. I think it's more interesting because 6 people wrote it.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. And the book, I guess I assume that you've asked for one answer and I'm not giving you one answer. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. Give me as many
Um,
as you want.
I I think that it, I mean, most people that are very successful authors, they have publishers, they start someplace,
Yeah.
obviously, but we didn't have a publisher. We didn't really have any help to do this. We sourced out some help. So the people that wrote this book are people like you and I
Yeah.
that aren't best-selling novels, and yet people that read it think that, oh my goodness, like these women wrote this, and you really don't know
Yeah.
who the guilty person is till the end.
That's awesome.
So that I think that we can really be proud of that.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think just I don't want to say normal people, but we're not authors. We're
Yeah.
just retired women who did this.
That's wonderful. I think those are great reasons for people to pick the book up. I think those
Yeah,
are great reasons. Um, and do we want to just give a last shout out to all the ladies who wrote the book?
certainly. Yes. So we have Sandy Eaton,
Yes.
Morag Harvey,
Nice. Morag Harvey.
Marilyn Holland,
Okay.
Roberta McGill, but she goes by Mary,
Okay.
and Yvonne Mitchell.
Yvonne Mitchell, and Wendy Morgan.
Yeah. Yes. And oh, their stories are wonderful. Just wonderful.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. Well, one last thing I'm going to tell everybody. Manticore Books, Stephen Leacock Museum, Mariposa Market, in Aurelia. If you're anywhere close to there, buy the book, pick it up, read it, support this wonderful project by these wonderful ladies. And then also, if you can't do that, you can email Wendy. Wendy, tell us your email one more time.
Wendy and the letter N and the name Steve at
Yep.
outlook.com.
Perfect. If you email Wendy, so Wendy and Steve at outlook.com, she can actually send you a book. Just send some e-transfers, whatever. You guys can figure it out. But if you're in Aurelia, visit Aurelia, check out one of those spots and pick it up. And again, what's the book's name? The Red Canoe.
A spider web mystery. And it was just passing. This is funny how the spider web mystery came up. Roberta McGill had this picture of a spider web, and at the very front of there's a quote about a spider web.
Yeah.
And so she said, wouldn't it be interesting to put that on? I said, well, yes, that really would. So once we got the Red Canoe and the spider web, what we wanted, Sandy said, let's call it a spider web mystery.
Nice.
And I said, you know what that means, Sandy? Another one.
Yeah, because exactly.
Yeah,
but we're not sure. We're not sure if another one is coming yet.
No.
Well, we'll leave that as the mystery.
Yes, that's the mystery, Chris. That's the mystery.
Well, anyways, on that note, thank you, Wendy, for joining me. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for chatting. It was a wonderful conversation, and congratulations on the book. And I wish you success and everything in it.
Thank you, Chris. And I've actually watched quite a few of your podcasts and have really enjoyed them.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Tell your friends. No,
yeah, I'll tell my friends. I'll tell them.
Wonderful. So, and everybody who is either listening, watching, wherever you are, we thank you. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your support. And don't forget, support all the people that come on the show and support us by being guests. So everybody needs to support each other. We'll build a community.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Ciao for now, everyone.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you, Chris.
Bye.